after a loss to the Indiana Fever on Friday, the New York Liberty back home, sweet home. Beautiful Barclays Center getting ready for a matchup with Connecticut. There's Benijah Laney getting ready for her first All-Star appearance, which will be coming up this upcoming Wednesday. Sabrina Ionescu making that look easier than what it actually is. And the Liberty going to have to contend with that lady right there. Jonquel Jones, one of the top players in the entire WNBA. Yes Network proud to present New York Liberty basketball as the Liberty gets set to take on the Connecticut Sun. Here inside Barclays Center alongside Ashley Battle, I'm Michael Grady. We mentioned Benijah Laney. She has had an outstanding campaign with the New York Liberty. Done a little bit of everything, coming off a Most Improved Player of the Year award with Atlanta a season ago. And Ashley, she's taken her game to another level. Oh, she most certainly has. She's been fantastic, increasing her production, scoring, and points. She's been a great acquisition for the Liberty this past offseason. She's been the most consistent player, averaging nearly 20 points per game, which has earned her first All-Star nod, and we'll be looking for more of this coming in off of the break. She's been absolutely special for the New York Liberty this season as we take a look at her numbers, averaging nearly 20 points a game. That's fifth in the WNBA, 5.2 assists per contest as well. That's seventh in the league. She's the only player in the WNBA averaging 19 points and at least 5 assists per contest. And she's reached double figures in 19 of the 20 games for the Liberty this season. The only time that she scored in single digits was against the Connecticut Sun. She had 8 points back on June 5th. All right, let's talk about Sammy Whitcomb. She was just named to the three-point contest. This will be at halftime of the All-Star game on Wednesday. She has a quick trigger. We know she can light it up from deep. So true, so true. Sammy has been another great acquisition this past offseason. Quick release, and she's getting rewarded for that. Her consistency of shooting the three-pointer at 44.7% this season, which is 5th in the WNBA. And I can't wait to see her, Jonquel. I mean, it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great. Jewel Lloyd's in that three-point contest. Allie Quigley, of course, can light it up from long distance. But Sammy has been on fire this season. 55 three-point field goals made. That's the most in the WNBA. 5.7 rebounds. She's mixing it up inside as well. That's third among guards. And in the last 5 games, she's averaged 16.6 points per game. Looking forward to seeing her in the three-point contest on Wednesday. All right, today's matchup with the Connecticut Sun. And when you're talking about Connecticut, you have to talk about Jonquel Jones. She sat out last season due to concerns of COVID-19, but once again this season, she has been an absolute problem. Oh, she's a matchup problem. She's a 6'6" guard, really. She could bring the break, bring the ball down on the break. She relieves pressure from her guards. She dominates the post. And not to mention, she's also amongst the leaders in three-point field goal percentages throughout the season thus far. And again, she's going to be in the All-Star game and also shooting threes. Unbelievable. 44.4% from three-point range. All right, Connecticut Sun ranks this season 79.8 points per game. That's 10th in the WNBA, but the defense, tremendous. Only averaging or allowing 74.2 points per contest. That's best in the league. Second in the WNBA in rebounds, only behind Las Vegas. And they are first in second chance points with nearly 14 per game. It's going to be quite the showdown today as the Liberty take on the Sun. Today also the 5th annual Unity Game. Showing some unity there, right there between the two players. Starting lineup, opening tip coming up next right here on Yes. New York Liberty basketball on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. More ways to win. Here inside Barclays Center, getting ready for this matchup between the Sun and Liberty. Starting lineup for the Sun. Veteran backcourt, Breon January, Jasmine Thomas. Brianna Jones in the middle, and it's Jonquel Jones, DeWanna Bonner. Bonner, Jones, and Jones, 3 All-Stars for the Sun. As for the Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, Sammy Whitcomb in the backcourt, Kylie Shook in the middle, Michaela Onyenwere, and Benijah Laney. First-time All-Star. All right, Ashley, let's get to your keys to the game, or as we like to call, the battle plan. Hey, the battle plan. Crash the boards. It's very important for the Liberty to get off to a good start on the boards, as the Sun are tops in the league with rebounding and second chance points. Three-point consistency is what the Liberty strive on every game, all day, all night.
They are a three-point shooting team, and to fend off the Sun, they're going to be consistent at the three-point shooting. Again, you got to stick to your defensive principles, because we know sometimes that people go off script a little bit, but Connecticut is so efficient at playing that in order for the Liberty to compete and to keep them off the glass, they're going to have to stick to their principles.
A look at Kurt Miller there, 6th season as head coach of the Sun. You see his record. He was coach of the year back in 2017. He's leading this Sun squad to a 13-6 record so far this season, 3rd in the WNBA. And there's Walt Hopkins, again in his 2nd season as head coach of the New York Liberty, 12-30 record. Coach of the month a little bit earlier this season. And Liberty enter with a record of 10-10. Again, the final game for both of these teams before the Olympic break. Our officials, Randy Richardson, Tony Patillo, and Robert Hussey. And we are underway at Barclays Center. Jasmine Thomas controlling, defended by Sammy Whitcomb. Jonquel Jones, she can knock that down from distance. This one's off the mark, but Brianna Jones with the board.
And right on cue, offensive rebound.
And there's a finish inside from Jonquel Jones. One of the toughest in the entire WNBA, 2nd in the league in scoring, 1st in rebounding.
I mean, she's just really amazing, and there's really nothing she can do on the court. Shooting threes, taking it off the dribble. She can have a field day.
Thomas may have had a foot on the line. No, they'll call it a 3. 5-0 Connecticut after that bucket by Jasmine Thomas. Ionescu being hounded. Gives it to Laney. And tough pass to Onyenwere, losing it out of bounds. Be interesting keeping an eye on Betnijah Laney. We mentioned in the open, she scored in double figures in 19 of the 20 games with Liberty this season. It was against the Sun where she only scored in single digits with 8 points. Duana Bonner, certainly a defensive specialist, hounding Betnijah Laney.
They're so long with Jones, and Bonner. And Bonner could shoot the 3 very well. She's always been a consistent three-point shooter. So I could see how their length can affect her.
Liberty trying to get off and running. Ionescu found a lane, missing. Kylie Shook, offensive board. 10 seconds to work with. Onyenwere has her shot blocked inside, but a foul is called on Jonquel Jones. Like the aggression there from Michaela Onyenwere, drawing that foul.
Absolutely, driving into the lane and drawing the foul on Jones. If there's one thing that can limit Connecticut, is definitely getting them in foul trouble early.
Getting into the teeth of the defense is going to certainly be important. Onyenwere knocking down the first free throw. Having a stellar rookie campaign. Leads all rookies in points, minutes, field goals, 3-point field goals made. 3rd in rebounding among rookies. She has had a strong first season.
Just leading in everything, huh? That's
5-2. Early going, first quarter. Sun and Liberty. Tough pass. Jonquel Jones trying to find Bree Jones inside. Liberty basketball. And Liberty coming off a tough loss to Indiana on Friday. Had issues with travel. They got in and landed in Indianapolis at 11:30. Played at 7 o'clock that night. Strong first quarter, but kind of faded as the game went along, taking a tough L.
I'm sure their legs were a little jello-y coming off of spending all day in the airport the previous day, and then, you know, taking a flight the day of the game. Sometimes it's just really hard to play in games like that, but everyone's professional, and I know they probably want that one back if they could.
No question. Kylie Shook knocking down the three-point. Onyenwere getting into the middle, taking it outside for that Kylie Shook 3. Shook, one of the few Liberty players who played well against Indiana. Career highs in that game. Bonner on the drive, too strong on the layup attempt. Rebound Ionescu. Liberty running. Ionescu finding Onyenwere, going right at Jones. And tough pass deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Liberty.
Michaela driving in hard, kicking and dishing, and she can hit that shot all day long if you give her the time to shoot it.
Had 3 threes against Indiana, career high 13 points. Ionescu with the look. Strong rebound to Jones. And you mentioned earlier, Jonquel Jones is like a guard. She can bring it up herself, set up the offense.
She's like a guard, just catching it off the rim like, I don't have to pass it to you. You're guarded, so I could just bring the ball up and start the offense.
Tied up at 5. 7 seconds for Connecticut to work with. Bonner on the move. Pull up. Knocks it down. DeWanna Bonner, 12th season out of Auburn.
Art of the mid-range game right there. 2 dribble pull-ups.
It is not a lost art for some of these players. 7-5 Connecticut. Sammy being watched by Breon January,
who has always been a hound on the ball.
Shook outside, wide open look for Laney. Cash. Liberty on top, 8-7. Jasmine Thomas fouled there.
Laney again. Someone lost her. Sammy. They collapsed in on Shook, leaving Laney wide open 4-3. Can't leave her open.
Doesn't get any more wide open than that.
That's probably going to be the easiest bucket she gets all night.
She was lonely out there. 8-7 New York. Jones working on Onyenwere. Contact bucket and the foul. Tough bucket. Jonquel Jones.
It really was. Jonquel, you could see her doing damage in the post, and Sammy didn't want to foul her, but she got a little too deep, and it was out of her hands at that point.
It's a little overzealous there on trying that double team. It's what you want. But too much contact, and it didn't matter. Jonquel knocks it down, knocks down the free throw, 3-point play, puts Connecticut up 2. Connecticut shooting 57% in the early going, and there's an offensive foul there. Kylie Shook on the screen getting called for the offensive foul.
I should have added turnovers to one of the keys to the game, to the battle plan. Early turnovers by the Liberties thus far.
Certainly have to take care of the basketball. Connecticut good enough to take the ball away themselves with the way that they hound you defensively. Only give up 74 points a game. That's tops in the WNBA. And the last time these two teams met, Liberty only put up 64. And Liberty get the ball right back. Offensive foul called on Brianna Jones.
With the Sun being tops in the league defensively, you need every possession that you could get and not have turnovers, unforced errors.
Jasmine Jones in the game for the Liberty. Putting moves on Bonner, but can't get the shot to fall. Rebound, Jonquel Jones. Bonner lining it up from deep. Off the mark from 3. Rebound, Ionescu. Ionescu's 3rd rebound of the game. Now it's Benaja Laney with the crossover. Kicks it outside. Onyenwere. No good on the 3-point attempt.
That's good offense, though. Getting 2 feet into the paint, and once you get 2 feet into the paint, you always want to have somebody in the corner as an outlet and release. And Michaela was right there for open 3. She just didn't knock it down.
Thomas in and out on her shot attempt. 10-8 Connecticut, midway point of this opening quarter. Laney, nice pump, pull up, too strong. Another board for Jonquel Jones. Now it's Thomas. Bonner. Inside Jonquel again, trying to give her double team attention. Thomas will fire from deep and rattle it home.
Jasmine Jones got caught ball watching right there.
Jasmine Thomas, 39% from 3-point range this season. Knocks down her 2nd of this first quarter. Lane outside. Onyenwere trying again. Rolls out. 13-8 Connecticut. Liberty now shooting just 25% in this opening frame. Brianna Jones rolls that one home. First-time All-Star. Brianna Jones in her 5th season out of Maryland. 8-0 Connecticut run. Onyenwere driving on Jonquel Jones. Had a little bit of daylight. Now it's Jasmine Jones with the pull-up. Can't get it to fall. Liberty just 2 for 9 in this opening quarter. Great pass. Breon January finding DeWanna Bonner. And Walt Hopkins upset, needs to talk things over. 3:33 to go in this opening quarter. The Connecticut Sun leading 17-8.
They present unique challenges. Any team that has, I don't think it's a coincidence that most of the time the teams that have a Jonquel or a Deladon or a Stewie tend to end up in the finals because they present so many matchup problems. They make everyone around them better because of the spacing that they can create while simultaneously being able to punish mismatches down low. So, you know, Jonquel's a handful to go with Brianna. But we do have a couple of things that we're going to try that, you know, it's not to say that it's going to stop everything. You know, it's a pick your poison thing like you and I have talked about in the past, and it's a hard thing to pick with this team. And you know, one of the things that we're going to do is we are going to pick one or the other more so tonight. And you know, hopefully that plays in our hands. But sometimes, you know, you take away one thing, you give up another, and they burn you. Other times they miss those things, and you look really smart.
Walt Hopkins there before the game talking about the challenges of facing Connecticut, what they do defensively, what they do offensively with Jonquel Jones. Connecticut on a 10-0 run, missed by Heidemann. The Liberty have missed their last 7 shots. Needing a good look here. Whitcomb getting in the teeth of the defense, can't get the shot to fall, and no call. Hopkins disappointed with the officiating there. Montpremier, pump fake, gets the lay-in to go. 12-0 run by Connecticut. They lead by 11.
Sammy taking it in and trying to create something and try to get to the line. I like that aggressiveness because you have to do something to stop the bleeding right now. But right now may not be the best time to gamble defensively because they're scoring at will.
Another missed shot. Sammy Whitcomb off the mark, approaching 2 minutes in this first quarter. Liberty shooting just 15%, 2 of 13 from the floor in this opening quarter. Drive by Kyla Charles, all air, rebound to Onyenwere. Jasmine Jones late get back. She took a tumble on that last possession.
Jasmine Jones on the floor again. We should have a floor count for Jasmine Jones. How many times she ends up on the floor a game?
That shot by Onyenwere snaps a cold streak. 19-10 Connecticut. Heidemann to January. January pulling up from deep. Can't get that to fall. Rebound to Whitcomb. See if the Liberty can get some momentum before the end of this first quarter. Laney. Being watched by Charles. Whitcomb, oh, she was looking for Onyenwere to cut to the hoop. Deflected out of bounds by Jones.
What it looks like the Connecticut Sun are doing defensively is a hard hedge off of pick and rolls, and when the Liberty does their 3-man weave, they're trying to deny that handoff, which is causing some problems for the Liberty right now. So look for them to go back door and try to relieve some of that pressure.
3 seconds. Jones has to fire from deep, and it's pulled down by Montpremier. .45 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's been all Connecticut. Bonner over to Jones. Can't hit on the mid-range shot. Rebound Jasmine Jones, and it's stolen away. That kind of sums up this opening quarter as Breon January knocks down the 3 off of the senseless turnover.
Oh man, Breon January was like, "Thank you very much."
Too easy.
Just gonna, I mean, wow. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before in the game, actually.
Giving you a basketball resume, that's saying a lot. Jones driving on Heidemann, draws the foul. She'll go to the free throw line.
You have Jasmine Jones gets the rebound and looking for the outlet. She's like, oh my goodness, what did I just do? And Breon January is like, okay, well, no one's going to guard me. Thank you very much. I'll just shoot that.
No assist credit. 2 free throws for Jasmine Jones. Knocking down the first. Again, this Connecticut defense is as advertised, but you can't have self-inflicted wounds if you're the Liberty.
You definitely can, and that was just a really solid example of a self-inflicting wound with Jasmine passing it to Brian for 4-3, actually. Passing it for 3.
6 seconds for Connecticut to work with. Heidemann to Bonner. Being watched by Nay Odom. Step through for 3, no good, and that's how the opening quarter comes to a close. A 15-4 run by the Sun to close first quarter. The Liberty shoot 3 for 15. They trailed by 10 after 1. Today after the Yankees-Astros game, turn back to Yes for the Yankees post-game and get complete highlights and analysis. That's later today right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Unbelievable game yesterday. Garrett Cole on the mound, 129 pitches. Unbelievable performance against the Astros.
He was feisty on the mound.
Oh, you love that too.
Oh, yeah.
You love that.
It's like, I'm going to finish this game.
Start of the second quarter, and it begins with a turnover. Jonquel Jones inside. Montpelier left hand, good.
Man, you can't start the start of the second quarter with a turnover. The Liberty really have to be mindful of their turnovers because they're turning into points.
Drive there from Oninuede, no, and deflected out of bounds, goes to Connecticut. Again, these are the type of issues, things that you can't have happen.
Inescu trying to thread the needle in between 2 Connecticut players, which leads to a post-up and an easy left-hand layup.
8 points off of 5 Liberty turnovers now for Connecticut. Liberty with 12 first quarter points, lowest output in the opening quarter this season for New York. There's a deflection there. Nice hustle for Shonda Gray making a play on the ball. We'll see if that fires up the group.
Gonna need a lot more plays like this from the Liberty, getting out there and hustling and trying to make something happen for them to come back into the game.
Gray's really played well since returning to the team. 3 games scoring in double figures. Montpelier off the mark that time inside. Laney. And fouled by DeWanda Bonner. That's going to be her first.
Connecticut foul, charge number 24, DeWanda Bonner. That is her first, team's first.
Liberty shooting just 3 for 16 to start this game. Ionescu to Gray, fires from deep, knocks it down. Gray providing the team a boost since checking in.
It's a great move by Inescu, just drawing defenders towards her, which ended up leaving Gray wide open at the top of the key.
24-15 Connecticut, early going to the second quarter. January, watched by Wickham. It's Heidemann. Inside, Jonquel Jones in the double team, ball movement. Bonner outside, no good. Rebound Montpelier. We talked about it. Connecticut tops in the league in second chance points. Bonner can't get that one to go down, and it's knocked out of bounds.
See Inescu driving, bring in 2 people with her, and which leaves Gray open at the top for a 3.
Like that from Rashonda Gray. First three-pointer of the season. Heidemann looking to get it in. Finally does.
That's an easy target right there.
Oh, firing up from the S on Barclays Center. Jones can't get that to go down. Again, she'll be competing in the 3-point contest on Wednesday. Halftime of the All-Star game. Gray. Tough look there, can't get it to fall. Remains a 9-point game. Bonner working on Laney.
I like this matchup.
Laney stand right there with her. Good defense. Bonner stepping through though.
She's so
good
long.
D, better offense.
I don't think you can really tell on TV how long DeWanda Bonner is, but she is tall and long. And
how about Rashonda Gray? First 2 3-pointers of the season in this quarter.
2 for 2.
26-18. Liberty getting a little bit of momentum on the offensive side. Inside-outside game. Bonner had a look. Ball movement. Heidemann to January with the pump fake. Tough off-balance shot. Great defensive possession for the Liberty. And Heidemann fouls Whitcomb.
Rashonda Gray, not known for her three-point shooting, but she's 2 for 2 thus far. Let's go.
Gotta love it. Third stint with the Liberty just this season. Talked to her not long ago about overcoming adversity and who she leans on when she's going through tough times. She said her faith, #1, but also people who inspire her. Drake.
Oh, nice.
His reputation from the grass seat being overlooked and becoming who he is. And also she named her teammate Benijah Laney, someone who was also slept on and has overcome so many different things to get to where she is right now. Rashonda Gray looks at both Benijah Laney, who misses that shot there, and Drake is inspiration.
Oh, wow.
Started from the bottom.
That's what I was thinking. That was literally what I was thinking. That was about to come out of my mouth. It's like, I guess we started from the bottom, now we're here. Get out of my head. You got rental space up there right now.
Teammates. There's a foul inside. Rashonda Gray battling. I jumped the gun there, partner.
Oh, man. I was ready for it. I was like, oh, starting from the bottom, now we're here. Plug in Drake right now.
6:25 to go in the first half. Breon January rolls that one home.
That's her shot right there. She's made a career off of that high pick and roll mid-range jump shot.
Been a champion in this league with Indiana, an all-star in 2014, 13th season out of Arizona State.
And not only that, she's just a great human being.
No question. Sammy Whitcomb. Backdoor lays it in.
Again, we're going to see more and more backdoor options because Connecticut is overplaying everything.
Jasmine Thomas way off the mark. Another opportunity for New York to cut into this lead. Gray working on Brianna Jones, and it's a jump ball. Tough collision there. And Jones took most of that collision there. She gets helped off the floor. 28-20. We have a timeout. 5:41 to go in this first half. Sabrina, beautiful pass to Sammy Whitcomb. Liberty chipping away, trailing by 8 in the first half. Oh, Liberty on yes, Nets on yes. That's Bruce Brown. They call him Biggie Smalls. He's a guard, but he played big for the Nets this past season. Sitting courtside and enjoying this game. New Liberty mascot Ellie also kicking it with Bruce Brown. We got a jump ball between Rashonda Gray and Brianna Jones.
They're over there jamming right now, too.
10 seconds for Ionescu to work with. Here's the Kylie Shook. Laney putting it up. Too strong on the 3 attempt. Rebound, Breon January. Liberty shot 20% after that first quarter. Up to 27% right now, trailing by 8. In the game that's felt dominated by Connecticut, but Liberty still right there. Off the missed shot from Bonner, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Liberty basketball. Now you see, a quick shot of Rashonda Gray. She's knocked down 2 3-pointers in this second quarter, actually. In her career, 108 games, she was 1 for 8 from 3-point range.
Hey, you know, shooters got to shoot.
Today, come on.
Shooters got to shoot. I mean, it looks like the.
I don't think she's hurt that much.
She probably hasn't hurt that much, and it's probably the way the Liberty play and how contagious it is to shoot the 3 ball. And you know, I'm sure the coaches' staff are just like, hey, if you're open and it's a wide open shot, then take it. She's probably been working on it in practice, and it's good to see it pay off.
No doubt. And foul inside. And Gray shook it and battling, trying to deal with Jonquel Jones and Brianna Jones. That's the second foul there. on Rashonda Gray.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Trying to It's not easy. It's not easy. I like that one. Both Brianna Jones and Jonquel Jones headed to the All-Star game, including that lady, Dewana Bonner, who can't hit. Battle for the board goes to Sammy Whitcomb.
Sammy's always all over the place.
Oh, lost
man.
out of bounds. Onyenwere lost the handle on a couple of them so far in this first half.
She was trying to make her move before she caught the ball and just lost sight of the ball. That happens. That's a tough break right there for Liberty.
Approaching 4 minutes to go in this first half. Connecticut still hanging on to an 8-point advantage. Liberty showing some life in the second quarter. Thomas, strong drive, fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line. Jasmine Thomas in her 7th season with Connecticut.
Foul charge number 32, Sammy Whitcomb, as their second, Hughes third.
And it's a veteran squad. And we have some young players getting it done, but Dewana Bonner in her 12th season, 13th season for Breon January, 11th season for Jasmine Thomas as she hits the first free throw. And you have one of the better players in the league in Jonquel Jones, an MIP candidate. You talk about Sammy Whitcomb as an MIP candidate. Brianna Jones also a most improved player of the year candidate as well.
Absolutely. Both players have been really consistent this year. And well, Brianna got an all-star nod too. So, I mean, she's going to be definitely looked at for MIP candidate going into at the end of the season.
Under 10 seconds to work with. Ionescu pull up from 3. A little contact there. He's looking for the call. Doesn't get it. Thomas. Slow things down. Gets a Jones screen. Out of Bonner. Bonner on the drive. Lays it in and out and gets a foul call. And this will absolutely frustrate the Liberty because Ionescu feels like she didn't get the call.
Sabrina coming off the screen, pulling up for a 3, and lots of contact right there on her arm.
Not happy with the no call there, and then on the drive, Dewana Bonner will go to the free throw line. First free throw attempts for the game for Bonner. Up to 7 points now in this first half. Jasmine Jones back in the game for the Liberty. Jones had everybody on the edge of their seat on social media yesterday, posting on Twitter and on her Instagram stories about the flight situation, issues going into Indianapolis, issues going out of Indianapolis. They thought they may have to fly in early this morning, but they were able to find a early evening flight yesterday out of Indy to finally get back to New York.
It's just tough, you know. Hurricane Elsa, she's not one to be messed with.
Causing all kind of flight issues. And some flooding issues we saw in New York as Kylie Shook knocks that one off the window and through.
It took me 2 days to trust the subways again. I was like, oh, I don't know about this.
So all those videos circulating in the water. Had to get that cleared up. Bree Jones inside on Onyenwere. Short rebound, Jazz Jones. Pushing the tempo. Kylie Shook. Oh, thought about it.
I thought she should have took it. Still in a hot hit, but Jasmine.
Off the mark, rebound. Knocked out of bounds.
With Shook, with the headsy going inside, and with a layup off the glass.
2:33 to go in the first half. Connecticut leading the Liberty 32-22. This Saturday night, catch NYCFC's next match as the boys in blue take on the defending MLS Cup champion Columbus Crew. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Oh, found it. NYCFC hat. We'll get it done. All right, tough pass there. Whitcomb looking for Shook. And Jasmine Jones saying that pass was deflected, but officials say no. Just bad pass out of bounds. Connecticut ball.
Dang. Tough break.
She out of a timeout, looking for a big play.
That's the second time that's happened. It started the second quarter and then out of a timeout.
Jonquel Jones line it up for three, off the mark, rebound to Wickham. Jones 2 for 5, 0 for 3 in the early going.
Swing it.
Riley, and once again thinking about the three. Gives it over to Jasmine Jones. Her Louisville teammate Shook will take that one and knocks it through. Kylie Shook with the three.
She had 3 opportunities to shoot on that last possession, and I'm happy she shot it because she was open all 3 times.
She is finding a rhythm. 5 points now for Shook as Heidemann answers with a 3 of her own. Back to a 10-point lead for the Sun. Shook had 13, a career high on Friday versus Indiana. Nice pass. Onyenwere off the window. Sammy Whitcomb setting her up. 35-27, a minute 15 to go in the first half. Thomas. Oh, blocking foul call. Tough play.
And you got Shook setting the screen. And usually when you set a screen, you're the person that's open, and she makes them pay. And Sammy again with the great vision to Michaela with a backdoor layup for a layup.
Free throws for Jasmine Thomas now. Try to just push this back to a 10-point advantage for the Sun. Puts that one through. Again, defensively for the Liberty, it hasn't been that bad. The Sun shooting about 40% for the game. Need to do a better job of keeping them off the free throw line. But they need to find a rhythm on the offensive side of the floor. Just 27 points with about a minute to go in this first half. Wickham.
For sure, and limit their turnovers. I think that's been a huge issue in this first half. It's just turning unforced errors.
3 seconds for Jasmine Jones to work with. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, Jonquel Jones. Decent look there, just a little strong for Jazz.
When you have the Joneses and Bonner in the inside, they don't even have to do much but just stand there and it'll alter your shot because you feel as though that they're coming.
It's a tough squad. Bonner, no good. Rebound Whitcomb, her 5th of the first half. About a half-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Whitcomb shadowed by Thomas. Gets a screen there, and a foul is called. 1 to give. Coming up halftime, Chris Sheeran one-on-one with Michaela Onyenwere, having a spectacular rookie season. Stats and analysis in this first half. Whitcomb gets it in, shot clock off. 7 seconds for Jasmine Jones to work with. Driving, off-balance shot, won't fall. But Jasmine Jones will head to the free throw line.
Jasmine got bailed out on that last one. I think she wanted to pass it to Shook and got caught in the air. Again, you see Jasmine going in. Looks like she wanted to pass it, but double clutched and got bailed out with a free throw.
Fouled by Heidemann. 3rd foul for Heidemann in this first half. Jasmine Jones knocking down the first free throw. Jones on the all-rookie team last season. Had just 5 points in the last game against Indiana. And leads the team in floor burns.
She definitely does. By a landslide.
Strong
it's
on
not
the
even
second
close.
attempt. Bonner from half court. No good, and that's the way the first half comes to a close. Slow start for the Liberty, but they fought back to make it a game. They trailed by 9 at the end of the first half. New York Liberty basketball on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. More ways to win. Second half action about to get underway. Folks have been waiting for this. How about some folks? No, Ashley's been waiting for this.
Yeah,
Liberty on Yes trivia. All right, here we go for today. Your question. 3 players have been WNBA All-Stars with the Sun and also played for the Liberty.
Ooh, I got
Who
one.
are they? Oh, you got one.
I got one.
3 players have been WNBA All-Stars with the Sun and also played for the Liberty. Who are they? Hashtag Liberty on Yes Trivia. Hashtag Liberty on Yes Trivia.
Oh, man.
Send a tweet. Use that hashtag.
I'm going to need some help. I only got
And
one.
recall, we need help. We need help. That's a great one for today.
That is a great one.
That's a really good one. Second half action about to get underway. You mentioned this in the last segment, actually. 3-point shooting, one thing, offensive execution, but taking care of the basketball, really important for the Liberty in the second half.
Right, and the Liberty has struggled early on in the first half with turnovers. They have 7, but the biggest thing off of those turnovers is the difference in the game really is the points off of turnovers, where the Sun have contributed 10 points off of turnovers, which, you know, you take those away and it's a pretty even game.
See how this third quarter starts for the Liberty. Whitcomb off the shook screen, gives it back to Ionescu, and they turn it over.
Dang.
Seen that a number of times in this game so far.
It's crazy at the beginning of the second quarter, beginning of the half, off of a timeout. Liberty don't need any breaks. It's turning into turnovers.
Laney now controlling, gives it up to Ionescu. 8 turnovers in this game so far for the Liberty. Gray getting the start in the second half, turns it over. Onyenwere is going to be coming off the bench to start the second half. Spin, and Brianna Jones, first time All-Star with a nice move, and Walt Hopkins, 53 seconds into this third quarter, wants to talk things over already.
Coming in with the spin, put her in a spin cycle, up and over with the left.
Brianna Jones again with that bucket. 4 points for the game again. She's a first-time All-Star. 3 All-Stars on this Connecticut Sun roster. Into the game at 13-6, third best record in the WNBA.
As a result, 1 in 3 African Americans who
We take a look at the trajectories of these players. Brianna Jones increased her scoring from by 7.7 points from the 2019-20 season, and now she's a 2021 WNBA All-Star. And then we talked about this ad nauseum. Benijah Laney, nearly 12-point scoring increase. Just something you don't see.
It's literally unheard of. I don't think I've ever seen someone, men's or women's game, that has increased their production by 12 points.
It's really been amazing.
Usually it's like incrementally, it'll go up, it'll go up, it'll go up, but off the jump, just 12, that's tremendous.
Went from 5 to 17. The Liberty began the game with turnovers on their first 2 possessions. They started the second half the exact same way. Whitcomb outside for 3, knocks it down. Off the feed from Ionescu.
Sammy knew that was going in.
39-31.
Need a few more of those. 39-31. Still in the early going of this third quarter. Jonquel Jones, watched by Gray. Turning, firing, no good. Rebound, Gray. Nice defensive stop for the Liberty. Now Whitcomb. And Ionescu controlling. Trying to cut into this lead, and she's fouled by Thomas.
Sabrina drawing 2 again, passing it out to Sammy for a nice look, and she knew that was going in. Look at her pointing.
Third foul on Jasmine Thomas. 10 seconds for Ionescu to work with. Shook. Shot from outside, front iron, no good. Rebound, Jonquel Jones. That's her 8th of the game. And ball batted out of bounds. It'll stay with Connecticut. Jonquel Jones coming off a 31-point, 13 rebound game against Atlanta on Friday.
I just want to say no one's helping me with the trivia yet.
That nearly drew air from Jonquel Jones. Brianna Jones staying with it, has it blocked by Kylie Shook. Here comes Laney the other way. Laney stops at the free throw line. Ionescu pull up. Jay goes off. 8-point advantage for Connecticut. Tough pass to Bonner, out of bounds. And they'll give it right back to the Liberty. Kurt Miller wants a timeout. 7:17 to go in this third quarter. Liberty trying to chip away, trailing by 8. Back here in Brooklyn, 39-31 advantage for the Connecticut Sun. Last game for both teams before the Olympic break. All-Star game coming up on Wednesday. 4 players in today's game will be participating in that All-Star game, and Sammy Whitcomb with the rock right there will be competing in the 3-point contest at halftime. Nearly a turnover as Bonner, again with her endless length, deflects that one out of bounds. Olympic break lasts through mid-August. And nice feed, but Whitcomb will retreat and set things back up. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Shook in the paint and lost the handle. Jonquel Jones. For January, thought about the 3. Back to the 3-time All-Star, and Jones inside. January from deep. Long offensive board, Jonquel, and she's fouled. If that's on Rashonda Gray, this is going to be her 3rd.
Foul charge number 32, Sammy Whitcomb.
They call it on Whitcomb, and that's her 3rd.
I'm really stumped on this trivia question.
A Sun All-Star, 3 Sun All-Stars who also played for the Liberty. Jonquel Jones getting free inside, extended to a 10-point advantage. You want to help Ashley out? Hashtag Liberty on Yes Trivia. One's pretty obvious. Shook driving. One's
really
strong on the lay-in attempt.
One is really obvious.
Need 2 more. We'll reveal those answers a little bit later on.
I think I have 2.
Oh, there you go. Jonquel Jones showing the range, knocking down her first 3 of the game, and it's now the largest lead for Connecticut. It's 13. And this defense for Connecticut is really something. Tough for the Liberty to find anything. Ionescu driving on Thomas. Thomas may have pulled the chair there, and Ionescu slow to get up. Ball movement. Jonquel, can she hit again? Yes, she can. Bonner knew that was going down before Jonquel even released it. 8-0 Connecticut run.
Timeout, New York.
47-31 with 5:36 to go in this third quarter.
Jones in there. 4-3. Again, nice.
Well, today marks the 5th annual Unity Day game presented by Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield. This year's Unity Day programming will focus on the health disparities and inequities faced by women of color as a direct result of structural racism. Kia Clark, New York Liberty CEO, says it's our hope that this year's timely focus on inequities in healthcare will not only spark important dialogue, but ultimately inspire changes in how Black and brown women are treated in our healthcare system. Now, earlier before the game, mammogram sign-ups in an Empire van located at Barclays Center Plaza for community members and fans to sign up for free screenings and health information. An absolutely fantastic day and an informative day in this Unity Day game. Back to live action. Nay Odom with the turnaround inside. No good. Rebound by Jonquel Jones. She has a double-double, 13 points and 12 rebounds. She scored the last 8 points for the Sun, all in less than 60 seconds.
Well, you know she wasn't going to be that quiet for the entire game. She struggled a little bit in the first half, but she doesn't shoot well from the arc for no reason. She puts up the work, puts up the time, and made them pay early on in the third quarter.
And great ball movement, too, from the Connecticut Sun. Jonquel was wide open on both attempts. And Ionescu trying for 3, no good. Nay Odom with the offensive board. There's Laney. Cross Backward pass. Odom for three. Rolls out. Rebound. Jones, her 13th of the game. Again, keeping an eye on Laney. Her only game this season where she failed to score in double figures was June 5th against Connecticut. Here we are midway through the third quarter. She has 3 points, 1 of 6 shooting from the floor. Jones battling with Gray. No good, but she'll go to the free throw line.
It's the length of Connecticut. I think they really affects her. You know, Dewana Bonner is 6'4". The other guards, I mean, everybody who's guarding her, they're really tall, really long, and on most teams, you're not going to find 6'6" guards that are guarding you. So she's able to compete with people her size or smaller because she has an advantage. But when you have someone with her length, then it makes it difficult.
Incredibly difficult. Friday, homegrown. The path to pinstripes is back for a new season. On the premiere episode, go behind the scenes with the Yankees' new single-A affiliate, the Hudson Valley Renegades. That's Friday at 11 o'clock, right here on Yes and on the Yes app. 48-31. Connecticut in firm control, and their defense has been ridiculously effective.
So good.
Less than 10 seconds for the Liberty to work with. Shook gives it up to Odom. Gonna have to put something up here. Hounded by Jonquel Jones, and Jones a little bit too much body there. That'll put Odom on the free throw line. That's the third on Jonquel Jones.
Again, going in, creating contact, and we'd like to see a little bit more of this from the Liberty. Getting to the line, stopping the play, and making their free throws to get them back in the game. Making their free throws.
Odom off on the first attempt. Odom a little bit of a slow start this season. Her second year in the WNBA. Missed time earlier in the year due to an Achilles injury. And just again, slow start, trying to find her rhythm once again. Missed both free throws. Laney outside. Odom couldn't hit the free throws. Misses on the 3 attempt. Rebound to Bonner.
I think I'm going to need to hear the trivia question one more time.
Jonquel Jones working on Onion Wade outside. Pure. Rion January knocking that one down. All right, 3 All-Stars for the Connecticut Sun. We've also played for the New York Liberty. You feel good about 2 so far?
I do feel good about 2.
Feel good about 2.
I think my peoples on Twitter, I think they have the cookies.
Turnover. January, again, one of the top defenses in the league. Holding opponents to the fewest points. Montpremier with the miss. And they are forcing turnovers for the Liberty. Laney. With 3 points in this one. Nothing really going on this possession, and it ends with a turnover. January pushing the tempo, pull up, knocks it down from the elbow, makes it a 22-point game. Liberty shooting 26% for the game, and it's a 14-0 run by the Sun. Laney with the pump fake, fires, and that one can't connect. Another opportunity for the Sun to extend this lead.
But this is a great opportunity for the Liberty to really look to see what they can do if Laney's not playing very well. What are they going to do? I mean, we're used to having her score 20 points a game, but she's struggling tonight. Who's going to step up and be that other person that contributes offensively?
They're getting schooled right now, and this is a Connecticut team that's going to be right there at the end of the season. They're going to be playing for the Commissioner's Cup. We haven't mentioned this in the broadcast, but the inaugural Commissioner's Cup, and it will be a battle between the Connecticut Sun and the Seattle Storm.
Oh, that's going to be a great matchup.
Tops in the East, tops in the West, the Commissioner's Cup. They basically accounted for the first meeting between teams that they had this season. And so again, you see the graphic here. It'll be the Sun and the Storm. $500,000 prize for the winning team.
I mean,
about $30,000 per player.
I mean,
The MVP of that game will get an extra $5,000.
I'm going to need one of these teams to sign me on a 10-day. I need to get signed on 10 days.
That game will take place on August 12th. Nice little added addition to the WNBA season. Michaela Onyenwere, no. Rebound. And it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Liberty. Liberty 0 for the last 11.
Ooh.
In the last nearly 7 minutes of game action.
So when you have stretches like that, it's really important to try to get something easy, whether it's a layup or getting fouled, going to the line, or getting fouled coming off a screen.
That's been a real difficulty for Liberty, is being able to get in the teeth of the defense. And again, you get to credit Connecticut for the defensive intensity, the length, which you've talked about quite a bit in this game. Not a lot of easy looks at the rim.
No, not at all. And when they do get in the lane, it's been a missed opportunity with blown layups.
Late in this third quarter, Liberty just 6 points in the paint. 6. 55-31 Connecticut. Carrington checking into the game for the first time. Spinning inside, left hand rolls out. Rebound goes to Kyla Charles. Lost the handle on it, and now Jasmine Jones has it. A minute to go in this third quarter. Whitcomb on the drive. Outside, Kylie Shook. Knocks down the triple, her second of the game. Officials stop action. Issue with the clock. 57.2. That's the first field goal for the Liberty in 7 minutes and 40 seconds of game action.
Wow. That's almost the entire quarter.
It's been all Connecticut in the third quarter. Jonquel Jones. Turnaround on Onyenwere. No good. Rebound, Jazz Jones. Pass up ahead. Jasmine Jones looking for Shook, but overthrew her.
That's a know your personnel type of mistake there. Like, you know, Shook's not going to be able to jump over Jonquel to get that rebound, and it's also putting her in a bad position to score as well.
28 seconds to go in this third quarter. Heidemann controlling. That was Jones up top. Stops at the free throw line. Outside look. Kyla Charles can't connect. Rebound Onyenwere. Whitcomb. Quick pass to Shook. Outside. Onyenwere with the look. It knocks down the trifecta. And that's how the third quarter comes to a close. Couple of threes to close the quarter, but outside of that, all Connecticut, they lead by 18 after 3. For Sunday, August 15th, and catch the first Liberty game after the Olympic break as the Seafoam Green face off with the Minnesota Lynx. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock right here on Yes and on the Yes app. Fourth quarter underway. Michael Grady, Ashley Battle. Connecticut leading by 18. They had a tremendous third quarter to take control of this game. Nice effort on the defensive side of the ball. Dee Richards checking into the game, bringing energy as it's deflected out of bounds off Connecticut. (55-37). Jasmine Jones lining from deep. That won't fall. Rebound Heidemann. Jonquel staying in the game. Outside look is Carrington. And tough pass finds Montpremier. And could have been a travel there and finally called it. Traveling violation, couple of turnovers to start this fourth quarter for Connecticut. On the court for the Liberty, Jasmine Jones, Kylie Shook, Dee Richards, Michaela Onyenwere, and Sammy Whitcomb. Jones driving on Heidemann, can't get it to fall, too strong. And ball deflected away. Again, nice hustle defensively, but Carrington, coast to coast, lays it in for the Sun.
Wow, she really went through the Liberty defense right there.
Onyenwere, crossover. Baseline lay-in won't fall, but she'll go to the free throw line.
Again, staying with the play. Ball was a hot potato, but she stayed with it and laid it in.
Carrington, rookie season, out of Baylor. Big 12 newcomer of the year, 6th person of the year last season for the Bears. Waiter knocking that one down. And Beatrice Montpremier takes the seat. Brianna Jones back in the game for the Sun. And misses on the second attempt. Forward to Jonquel Jones. Jonquel Jones, 14 points, 15 rebounds.
I don't know the third one.
Ashley checking in from the trivia section. This is when you take it to heart because you haven't been stumped.
I know, I'm
this
2
is
for
your
2.
First time being stumped.
I'm 2 for 2. Come on, peoples. Help a sister out.
A little bit of time left. We'll go back to that trivia question if you just joined her. It's Kylie Shook lining one up from deep, and this has got to be encouraging for New York. Kylie Shook, 13 points in the last game against Indiana, a career high, and has a new career high tonight with 14 in the last game before the Olympic break. 57-41 Connecticut. Jonquel Jones, no hesitation, and puts that one through. 17 and 16 for Jonquel Jones today.
I mean, she has resurrected in the second half and has really carried the Sun thus far.
Collision inside. It's a blocking foul, so Onyenwere will go back to the free throw line. Jonquel Jones, again, most improved player of the year award winner. This is back in 2017. She was 6th woman of the year in 2018. Just gets better and better.
And she really has. Every time, every year that she's stepped on the court, she's improved and has extended her range to 3 and become one of their best 3-point shooters on the team.
It's one of the better squads in the WNBA. And keep in mind they're playing this season without Alyssa Thomas, who tore her Achilles earlier this year while playing overseas. Thomas, another tough player, can get it done on both ends of the floor. Connecticut still with the 3rd best record in the WNBA, 13 and 6. Jones on cue, off the mark. Rebound, Charles. Back to Jonquel. Decent ball movement here. Heidemann, oh, nice feed. Brianna Jones can't finish, but she'll go to the free throw line. Great ball movement for the Sun.
Sammy driving in, creating some space with Shook for the open 3. Nailing it in. Jones, post players come to shoot that thing today.
When we talked about it, she got a nice stroke from long distance. You know, 2 of the bigs on both teams. Will Kylie Shook can shoot, and Jonquel's going to be showing her shooting range in the 3-point contest win today.
That's impressive. That's really impressive to have, you know, a post player who is participating in the 3-point contest.
And deserves to be there.
And deserves to be there.
44%. Speaking of 3-point contest, Whitcomb fires away. That one won't fall. 62-43. Under 7 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Tisa Heidemann, contact on the 3 attempt, doesn't get the call. Battle for the board. Out of bounds to New York. And Kurt Miller is highly disappointed, and they correct the call and say it'll stay with Connecticut. Kurt Miller got up from his seat, ran to midcourt. Couldn't believe the call, and they corrected and give it back to Connecticut. 14 on the reset shot clock. Carrington outside on a former teammate, Didi. Heidemann can't get that one to go. Rebound, Onyenwere. Shook Back to Onyenwere. And passed it right to Natisha Heidemann. We've seen that more than once today.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. It's always been an Achilles heel for Liberty.
Hurt them once again today. Heidemann trying to make a move on Jones. Gets a screen, tough pass, out of bounds to New York.
Official timeout.
62-43, 5:57 to go in the fourth here on Yes. Go in the fourth quarter, Connecticut leading the Liberty 62-43. Now the moment we've been waiting on.
Oh boy.
Revealing the answers to our hashtag Liberty on Yes trivia. 3 players have been WNBA All-Stars with the Sun and also played for the Liberty. Who are they? You got 2.
I have 2.
Who are the 2 you have?
Tina Charles, Taj McWilliams Franklin.
Okay, as there's an offensive foul there is going the other way.
The
we reveal
third?
the third. Couldn't get help on this one.
I don't know. I'm going with Tari Phillips from the. I'm going with Tari Phillips. I'm just going with Tari Phillips. I don't know.
Kelsey Bone.
Oh my goodness.
Kelsey Bone the third.
I would never.
Taj McWilliams Franklin, Tina Charles, but Kelsey Bone.
I didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming. I mean, I was looking at everybody. I'm like, did Katie Douglas play for the Liberty? I don't think so. I know Nikisha Sells didn't play for the Liberty. Like, I'm literally going through everything.
Kelsey Bone, an all-star with the Sun in 2015. And credit to Sam, everybody else in the Liberty on Yes truck.
You guys stomped the Swami over here.
Stumping not only Ashley Battle, but Twitter sphere. I know you were putting in work on
Oh my goodness, that was a travel. And they just really let her run like 5 steps with the ball. But I did. Even my Twitter people was like, Ash, I'm stomped on the third. I'm like, so am I.
Dejanay Carrington off the glass extends this to a 22-point game. Yeah, that was tough trivia right there.
That was. Josh, that was really tough trivia.
Kylie Shook with the pump fake, pull up inside. Oh, how about Kylie Shook in the last 2 games? 29 points, 11 of 15 shooting, and 7 of 9 from 3-point range. That's just the last 2 games for the second-year player out of Louisville.
Love to see it. I think that's a great confidence booster for Shook to have a game like this, especially against Connecticut.
Carrington lost a handle, but right to Charles. Driving, floats it up, tough shot, won't fall, rebound to Whitcomb. And she's fouled by Breon January.
That should be an intentional foul.
Connecticut foul charge to number 20, Breon January.
I'm getting on my Van Gundy here. I'm going on my Van Gundy here. That should be an intentional foul. Like you stopped her. You stopped the play of action, you know, because someone was hurt. It was you literally intentionally fouled her to stop the play, to get a 7. Like, that should be a technical foul.
Something tells me the frustration for the trivia is leading.
It is.
It's all connected.
It's all connected right now. It's all connected right now. I'm fired up.
I'm with you, partner. Smith Jones off the mark.
You're literally in the battle zone.
4 minutes to go in regulation. Connecticut leading by 20. Breon January.
I am such a sore loser.
Oh, I love it. Oh, 3:30 to go. Approaching 3:30 to go in this fourth quarter. Whitcomb over to Jones. Jones driving on Heidemann will put it up and knock it through.
You know, that's one thing about this Liberty team. They will not give up. No matter what the score is, they're going to fight and claw and compete throughout to the end.
You saw an exasperated look on Jones' face. She was 0 for 8 before that jumper. And a double dribble on Breon January.
Liberty ball.
Again, Jones with the shot. She's like, thank you, about time. Jeez.
She gives us a meme every game.
She does. Every game. Every game she has like a gif.
Wears her emotions on her sleeve. Again, that was her first field goal of the game.
Oh,
step through and gets that one to go.
That's all she needed was to see the ball go in.
Looking for the three-point
Jasmine
play now.
Jones coming up with the Euro. Yeet, yeet. Oh, with the side step. She hit her with the in and out, side step, Euro.
Oh, that was nice.
It was nice. I like it.
Can't hit on the free throw. 7 points now for Jasmine Jones. New York being led by Kylie Shook, 16, a new career high. Under 3 minutes to go in regulation. Bree Jones to Bree January. And an offensive foul called on Brianna Jones. That's her second of the game. 65-49, Connecticut on top at Barclays Center here on Yes.
Kylie Shook. She's been everything today. 16 points, which is a career high. 4 3-pointers, which is also a career high for her. And I think it's so great for her to see the ball go in and shooting so well, especially against a team like Connecticut, who is going to be in contention for the championship run at the end of the season. So it's a really good look for Kylie.
Kylie's showing something. Again, she's had several shots where she passed up some looks.
Right.
You know, and as she continues to be aggressive, as Onyenwere misses, and the pass deflected away. Rashonda Gray looking to give it back to Onyenwere. But no, Kylie Shook back-to-back games where she set a new career high in scoring.
Absolutely. She's definitely passed up shots to get a better shot, actually, and she's been great all game. She's been the shining light for the Liberty this game. Not everybody has played as well as we'd like for them to play, but she's definitely stepped up.
Outside shot for Onyenwere, rattles out. Rebound to Heidemann with a 3 on the last possession. Connecticut led by Jonquel Jones. Who else? 17 and 17, Ashley, from Jonquel Jones.
Wow.
As Heidemann hits another 3.
Wow, and what'd she have in the second half? Probably close to 17, all 17 in the third quarter.
The 3 started following. She was falling. She started getting anything that she wanted. A lot of contact there as Breon January picks up another foul, and they're going to have Jonquel Jones, Breon January, Brianna Jones check out of the game. The substitution. Connecticut, a legitimate shot, as you mentioned, to win a WNBA title. The top is heavy. Seattle, of course, Las Vegas, going to be a problem as well, but Connecticut has all the pieces to make life difficult for their opponent. They may not score at the same clip as some of those, you know, the aforementioned teams, but defensively.
Right, absolutely. Defensively, they definitely match up very well with both of those teams, Seattle and Las Vegas. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. The Commissioner Cup game is going to be fantastic against the Seattle Storm. And I'm looking forward to see how things play out.
Off the missed free throw, rolls out of bounds, off of Connecticut. It'll stay with New York. 93 seconds to go in regulation. Then for the Liberty, it's an opportunity to get a nice little break. Some of these players, you know, we were talking about the rookie and Michaela Onyenwere or Dee Richards, you know, his first experience in the league, get a little bit of a break. But even for some of the second-year players, this is as many games as they played in the Wubble last year. When you're talking about Jasmine Jones and even Kylie Shook.
Oh, yeah. The break couldn't come at a better time, really, because they're going to need that just take your mind off of everything and relax. And for those who are injured, get some great rehab in and getting ready for the long stretch of the second half of the season.
And he just saw a clip of Natasha Howard. They're going to review that last play. Looked like it was all out of bounds on Connecticut. But another thing with this break, and Coach Walt Hopkins was asked about this before the game, Natasha Howard was putting up shots before this one. As we take a look at this play. And
man,
it goes
Connecticut
right
ball.
It goes right back to Rashonda.
It was great hustle, and you're like, got it, don't got it. And Connecticut called it. They're all like, wait, it hit her.
Right. Turned into dodgeball real quick. The only thing to look at is if when the ball hits there, does it hit the line? After she hits it off of Montpellier, Does it hit the out-of-bounds line? We know it hits Gray off the bounce, but right here off Montpelier, does it? No, it looked like it looked like it was in bounds. So
yeah,
that should be Connecticut Sun basketball. But going back to Walt Hopkins, you mentioned that Natasha Howard is, again, she's putting up shots, but not quite cleared by the doctors just yet to be able to play in this game. So expect her on the first game out of the Olympic break on August 15th, and that'll be a huge addition for this Liberty squad.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, her presence inside just alone will just be just a huge asset for them scoring inside, but then also her defensive presence as well, because she creates very similarly to how, you know, Connecticut has Jonquel in the inside that just alters shots, and that's the same type of presence that Howard brings when she's in the lineup.
She's a Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, two-time All-Defensive First Team. Speaking of Natasha Howard, so that'll be a welcome addition once she returns. She only played a couple of games, but she averaged 14.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, Natasha Howard, in the two games that she played before her knee injury. All right. Officials have made the call.
Following video review, the call on the floor has been confirmed. The game clock will be reset to a minute 22.
And so Connecticut basketball. Officials took a long look at that one.
They did.
Had that one
They did. I don't know. I think it might still be Liberty ball.
So our glance at it looked like the ball off the deflection of Montpelier hit in bounds.
Right.
But the officials must have got an angle where it hit the out of bounds line.
I feel like they should look at that again.
And the official is putting the headset back on.
Because even though you're out of bounds and the ball hits you, it's still out on you.
Now, we don't have the same microphone setup that the NBA officials have, so we don't get a clear explanation. But this is the replay again.
We don't have a go to Secaucus moment.
No, so the officials must have ruled that it hit that line.
Throw it to the truck.
To the truck. So, the Liberty get it, minute 22 to go in regulation. A surprising call there, but the officials took a long look at it. Didi Richards to inbound. Into Rashonda Gray, who lays it in.
She deserved that bucket after the hustle that she did.
8 points for Rashonda Gray. Now it's Heidemann being watched by Jasmine Jones. Gets a screen outside. Carrington too strong on the three-point attempt, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it'll go to New York.
Look who's on the floor again.
Said leading the team in floor burns.
No
She only
doubt.
knows one way to play.
And that's hard, and that's diving all over the place, and sometimes over railings.
Which was an unbelievable highlight. And the fact that she just bounced up was amazing.
She bounced up like, I'm okay.
Second half out of the break. What are you looking for as Jasmine Jones is fouled by Carrington? What are you looking for this New York team? We talked about Natasha Howard, her return. What else are you looking for from this game?
I look forward to them playing defense at a high clip where they're not allowing teams to go on a long extended run, and they're able to stop that run early on instead of letting it go to 10 points, 15 points. Also, keeping up consistency with their three-point ball. I think they've been shooting the ball really well going into the break from Art. And if they can rebound, you know, with Natasha coming back, that's going to be a huge asset and a huge asset for them on defensively and rebounding. you know, and just, you know, mainly just finishing around the basket. Like today, they missed a ton of layups, which could have easily swung the game back in their favor.
They've gotten some points in the paint in this fourth quarter, but heading into the fourth, they had 6 points in the paint. 6. They've added 8 since then. As Heidemann misses on the layup attempt. And then again on the health front, Sabrina Ionescu, you know, had a stretch where she just didn't look right, didn't feel right, as far as that ankle and full mobility and doing everything that she wants to. This break ought to serve her well, her well also.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'd be nice to see a healthy Sabrina coming out there, and she's played well the last couple of games, but to see her at full strength with Natasha at full strength, you know, maybe we could get a chance to see what the Liberty could really do.
It's a playoff team for sure. 6th best record in the WNBA right now. They'll fall to 10-11 with this loss, while Connecticut will improve to 14-6 on the season. All-Star game coming up on Wednesday. So again, most of these Liberty players will be relaxing, but Benijah Laney, only player in the WNBA averaging 19-5 this season, going to enjoy her first All-Star game representing the New York Liberty.
That's awesome. She's going to have a great time.
A tremendous experience for her, for the rest of her Liberty teammates. A little bit of a break, opportunity to recoup, get healthy, and be ready to go in the second half of this WNBA season after the Olympic break. Connecticut getting the victory here in this 5th annual Unity Day game here at Barclays Center, 71-54, the final. 17 points, 17 rebounds for Jonquel Jones, you see right there. Just a dominant performance inside. Meanwhile, Kylie Shook, second-year player out of Louisville, 16 points, a career high for her, knocking down a career high 4 3-pointers in this game. And that wraps it up from Barclays Center. Once again, the final score, Connecticut 71, Liberty 54. Join us again Sunday, August 15th, when the New York Liberty returns from the Olympic break to face the Minnesota Lynx. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock on Yes Network and streaming on the Yes app. For Ashley Battle and our entire Yes Network crew, I'm Michael Grady saying so long, everyone. We'll see you next time.